Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report. I'm your host, Matthew Peterson. Today's show, we're going to talk about some trade candidates. I'm going to preface with this. Is it likely? Probably not, but it's always fun to play Madden. It's always fun to be the GM, have a little fun, make up your own trades, and that's what we're all about here at the Browns Report. So why not toss some names around that could be moved before next Tuesday's November 2nd NFL trade deadline. So we're going to dive into that on today's show. But before we do, it's Steelers Hate Week. That's what's coming up. That's what's on tap for this Sunday, Halloween. So I got a quick question for you guys. How much do you hate the Steelers? You only got one option. You're either a 9 or you're out of 10. There's nothing below that. There's no way you're an 8, a 9 or a 10. Want to see the 11s, though. That's the thinking outside the box. Hop down in the comments section. How much do you hate the Pittsburgh Steelers? All right, let's get into some trade candidates now. First one up, Odell Beckham Jr. This one has been floated around for weeks, honestly, at this point. And I did some number crunching. Here's what it comes down to. The thing that people I think lose sight of when you want to trade players is the financial side behind the things. These are businesses, not just people we're talking about. He's under contract through 2023. A trade could save the Browns about $8 million. That's open to interpretation. The team they trade for maybe will take on less of the salary in order to make the deal possible and make the Browns take on more of this salary for the rest of this season. At the end of the day, I don't really know what you could get for OBJ. This is a tough market to gauge. Usually NFL teams like to look at previous moves and see how much those players would take, what it would cost to get them. I think you get maybe a third rounder for him, but probably more like a fourth or a fifth. For me, it would be, the question is, who would want to take him, right? Who wants to trade for a player that's been underperforming, has shoulder injuries, coming off an ACL tear, and has $8 million to splurge on a wide receiver that's got all that stuff in the bag and also hasn't looked like the OBJ we all remember him in New York the last 2 seasons. So the first question to answer is, who's got the money? Who's going to be able to make this deal happen? Now, any team can move money around because the NFL trades the salary cap. It makes no sense, honestly. So anyone can make some moves, but here's at least who's got the cap space. 1 through 5, Jacksonville just doesn't jump out to me as a team that wants to trade for a wide receiver like OBJ right now. Eagles and Broncos are both sellers, probably not buyers at this point. The Panthers love making trades, so maybe they would. The Seahawks, without Russell Wilson, I don't know if they really are in a win-now kind of feel, but I could see it happening, although they're pretty happy with Metcalf and Lockett over there in the Pacific Northwest. And then we got 6 through 10 here. The Chargers, they're pretty loaded right now with Williams and Allen. I just don't see a need for them to want to go pick up a wide receiver. Steelers and Browns, they're just not going to answer each other's phone calls. The same goes for the Ravens. Washington, again, they just don't seem like a team that's going to be buying this year. And then you got the Browns themselves. They're not going to trade with themselves. So there just doesn't seem a team at the top there that has the room that could jump out and make this trade. I also think the Browns, they're only going to do this for the right offer. They are not going to want to take on a chunk of his salary for the rest of the year in order to make a deal happen, all to get a 4th rounder. The Browns have been hit by the injury bug pretty bad this year. That's nothing new. Do they want to give away more depth and put more strain on Case Keenum to have one less weapon to throw to, and also a Jarvis Landry and Donovan Peoples-Jones now led wide receiver room who are also dealing with their own injuries? The Browns, I think, they're only going to do this if some team comes in there and blows them away, although the bigger question also is, will OBJ even be on the Browns next season? I'm going to make this the pinned comment. So if you get hit with the YouTube ad break, scroll on down, reply, and then come back and join us when the ad is over. Y for yes or N for no. I don't think he is. That's my answer. With the money he's due coming up, it just doesn't make sense for the productivity you've gotten out of him the last couple of seasons to keep him around for another year, have him be a really high-paid, run-blocking wide receiver. It's just not there. It's not all on OBJ, but it just it hasn't worked out. So I think it's probably time to cut the ties after this season, regardless. Next, Browns trade candidate, Mack Wilson. Now, this is one that I could definitely see happening. The Browns and Mack Wilson, Wilson, the 5th-round pick, the young guy, it just hasn't worked out like they would have hoped. And before we get into all the details, guys, if you have not already, please go ahead and subscribe right now for one reason and one reason only, because you hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. Don't do it for YouTube. Don't do it for me. Do it for the Browns and do it for your hatred for the Steelers, because that's what we got going on this week. Steelers Hate Week. We got a Steelers channel here. They got about 1,000 more subscribers than us. It would be awesome to catch up by them by Sunday, but if we can't make that happen, at least let's make a dent in it so the second time the Browns face off against the Steelers, we can pass that Steelers channel. So go ahead and subscribe right now, just for one reason only, because you hate the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, going back to Mack Wilson, though. He has been a bit of a bench sitter at times this year, although with JOK's injury, maybe they don't want to give away an extra depth piece at the linebacker position. But for me, Wilson obviously has not worked out at that linebacker position like the Browns would have hoped, but I don't know what kind of aspirations you had for a 5th-round guy. It wasn't going to be a blown-away, surefire guy anyway. For me, also, special teams. That's where Wilson makes himself tradable. No one's going to want to really go out, most likely, and trade for a backup linebacker who kind of got benched anyway, unless you're really banged up and you see a way that Wilson fits in your scheme better than the Browns scheme. But his special teams ability, maybe to a competing team that's, they think they are one piece away from really putting the piece together to win a Super Bowl, one of those top-tier teams right now. Maybe Wilson on special teams makes it happen, and all you got to give up is most likely a 7th or a 6th rounder. You got him for a 5th. You're not going to get a 5th back, so I think special teams is the avenue he goes down to find himself in a different uniform beyond next Tuesday and the NFL trade deadline. Guys, if you want a free jersey, go ahead and do it at BetUS. That's our sportsbook partner, and they got a great deal, and we have a great deal for you guys. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code Browns125. Producer Jeff, let's get the BetUS whole spiel up on the screen, because when you sign up and you get that 125% deposit bonus, you're rolling in cash, okay? You've got great deals going on, and you get a 125% deposit bonus when you go in there. You got to use the link at the bottom of your screen, chatsports.com/bet, promo code Browns125, and when you put in $100, we hook you up with one of these jerseys, like a Nick Chubb jersey. Okay, and all you need to do is email us, jersey@chatsports.com for the deal. Just include your BetUS account number, a screenshot of your first bet, and it's almost Christmas season. What a great gift to give someone. A Baker Mayfield brand new Nike Fanatics jersey. There's no hoops to jump through. There's no catch. All you got to do is follow these 4 steps. Take a picture of the screen right now. Screenshot if you're on your phone. Sign up and deposit at least $100. You're going to get a 125% deposit bonus thanks to our sportsbook partner, BetUS. When you email us, jersey@chatsports.com with your BetUS account number and a screenshot of your first bet, you're going to be the king of Christmas when you're giving someone a brand new Baker Mayfield jersey, and you get to bet and gamble. So it's a win-win. Check them out. Make that deal happen. Next Browns trade candidate, the final one on today's show, Andrew Billings. The free agent signing from 2020 that just hasn't worked out. Opted out all of last year due to COVID-19, and this year has been riding the bench. And there's been a lot of fun from between the two Malik McDowell and Jackson, and Billings has found himself sitting on the bench right now. He's got 1 tackle. He's hardly played. 17% snap percentage through 5 games so far this season, and you look at the depth chart now for the Browns, there's just not a lot of room for Billings, okay? Malik Jackson and McDowell, I was very concerned about this Browns run defense going into the season. These guys have been awesome so far, and then you got Togiai, that's your rookie draft pick from this season who you want to see pan out. So for me, Billings is easily a shoppable player to a team that has been sucking at the run. Looking at Harrison Graham right now, our Kansas City Chiefs guy, maybe the Chiefs want to improve their run defense. I don't know if the Browns want to give any extra arsenal to their AFC competitors, but the Chiefs, they've sucked lately, and the defense is a big part of that. So maybe the Chiefs are interested. Whoever it may be, we're going to find out as the NFL trade deadline creeps up next Tuesday. But pick a player. It's time to play the GM game. You get to be Andrew Berry. You get to be the host of the Madden game right now. Pick a player you want the Browns to trade. OBJ has been the hottest name so far, but maybe I'm forgetting someone. Maybe you think the Browns could fleece someone for Dearness Johnson, who may go back to being a backup once Hunt and Chubb come back, although I wouldn't do that. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments section. Also, guys, if you have not already, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. Handle's right there. I'm talking Brownies all Sunday and all week long. Sauce me a follow on Twitter. And here's the deal. For all the new followers I get, I'm going to shout you guys out next week's show sometime. So you get some love. You get to hop on the Browns Report. Join me on the show. Follow me on Twitter. Let me know you came right here from the Cleveland Browns Report.